Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and we have a little bit of green fighting here. Just like in the past 20 minutes, guys, we did get this little pump candle going on right here, straight off of a wick onto the quantum reactor, pushing up towards our 200-day simple moving average. So we're watching this close right now. Was this nothing more than a liquidity sweep, or are we going to get some bullish move going into the tariffs today? That is coming at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the official announcement time. So if you guys didn't know, now you know. But we're going to break all this down. We're going to look at what we should be looking at in the charts. And does the tariffs really matter? Average Crypto Joe asked a great question. Even if these tariffs come out to be a nothing burger, is it time to pump, or are there other obstacles in the way? We're breaking all this down and more today on the Piper Academy Network. Guys, let's get it. You know what time it is. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's see who all we got in here. We got Alexandra G, Richard Berry, the Irish Chink is in the house. Jay B is in here with us. Line of sight on crypto. Calvin Lamont, what's up? My boy, Lamont, how you doing, man? We got Mojo. Is it Majo? Maho Move? Majo Move? I don't know. But he's here, and we're glad to have him. We've also got Duality C in here. Ballin' Wallin in the house with us. Ninja Glock. Username is in here with us. Harp is in here with us. Who else? Average Crypto Joe. I've already given you the shout out, but I'll give you another one, man. Robert Mulligan, appreciate you being here. And Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset. Ahsoka Tano is in here with us. And I think BC Port Corp. Yep. Perfect, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. Let's go ahead and let's get our co-host up here. Let's get this show rolling. We got a lot to unpack today. What's up, Bob? How you doing? Bob's your man. What's up, OC? How you doing, brother? How you feeling about this candle, man? This pumpy green candle when the markets are supposed to be terrified. Shout out to Alex O for that joke. I stole it. I straight up stole that joke from him. Much love to him though. But yeah, that is markets are supposed to be terrified. We're getting this little pump today. So what are your thoughts on it, OC?
Well, to be honest, just taking a look at just the technicals, we saw this coming, but also in factoring in the tariff, it is kind of like a little bit of a surprise to see it that strong of a movement. I think something must be in the background, just pushing this price or driving this price action to the upside. I believe this is the effect of being bullish on the policies that are being applied. Although we talked about this could be hurting pockets of the U.S. citizens that at this point are the biggest buyers of crypto. Well, then the speculation behind it might be even stronger for them to even try to get some prices or some crypto at this point. So I think that as we've been telling, we need to trade with or along with the narrative, right? And then based on the narrative, also with the charts. So when we're ready to break the narrative, we have the charts to back it up, but also be looking at our support and resistances and following up our strategy.
Yeah. Another thing, too, Canada has already announced that if the U.S. drops their tariffs, they'll drop all of their tariffs. So we're already starting to see the pre-negotiations occur before these tariffs today. So it's going to be very interesting, man, to see how it all breaks out and how it all plays. At the end of the day, we're going to play it as it comes, right? Play with the hand that's dealt us today, and we'll make it happen. This is why we've been dollar cost averaging. So if we get higher moves to the upside, we've been DCAing in and preparing for this. But if it continues down, we've also secured a lot of profits. So that is the Piper plan there. Let's go ahead and jump in on the chart. Let's talk about that, and then we'll get into the news. How's that sound, OC? Let's go.
That sounds fantastic.
All right. Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely. Let's go. So taking a look here, guys. Let's go break in what we're seeing here on Bitcoin right now. We did get this nice bounce off of the bottom here. This is our quantum reactor. And look at that beautiful wick play of support. Got a nice bounce up, broke through the dynamic reactor. Now we are heading up towards that 200-day simple moving average. It's been the level that I've been watching very closely here. You can see rejection after a breakthrough, lots of rejection back here. It is definitely a resistance resistance line to watch. So while we are watching this price move, some things to be aware of is we do have a value area high coming in right here at about $87,000 also. So even if we get a break above this, look for the retest on that 200. Watch for this level, because if we can't do the same thing here with another retest and then a 50 on that, which would be above the 50-day simple moving average, guys, then we are not setting ourselves up for a bullish price structure. We are doing nothing more than a quick liquidity grab from fair value gap, fair value gap. So we're just cleaning a lot of this stuff out. Okay. So be aware of that. Let's go over and look at the higher time frame here so we can see the volume node and just see what we got here. Yeah, we're kind of in a volume gap right here. I mean, it's not a huge gap. There is some volume here. It's not like it is down here where we go into nothing burger of volume, but we are kind of in this gap and running up, and you can see that value area high is going to be the peak of this volume node right there. So big old grandma nipple right there, as opposed to little pointy nipples. Volume nipples, guys, for the win. So yeah, watch this level right here, guys. This is going to be where I think that we do have some issues coming in. Of course, if we do a wick above that, you can look here. We have the dynamic reactor. This is on the daily coming in right on top of the 50, and that would be another bearish narrative. So we do have the potential for a pump, but be aware there are a lot of things standing in the way right now above us that could turn around your hopium and put you right back into a sad depressed state on the market charts. That is all I'm going to break down, because OC is going to go into this more. But I wanted to show you guys this, especially on the 4-hour, because we are seeing a little bit of a volume, a money flow increase here, starting to get a little curvature up. Oscillator ribbons curving to the upside, and we're starting to get a little more volume. So be aware of that. Let's go ahead and jump over into the news real fast, and then we will talk about what we're seeing on some of this other stuff. Let's go ahead and shrink this in. There we go. Now we look like a professional news channel. Look at that. Let's go check out Into the Cryptoverse, guys, and check out our metrics here. Currently, right now, we are sitting at about $2.742 trillion. That is just about 25% below our trend for the market cap of all crypto combined. So about 24.96% undervalued right now. We're looking at a 49.9 on the wristband, and that is about to flip over into 50, I do believe. And if we hit that 50, guys, that makes our DCA a ×2 instead of a ×3 this week. Looking at Bitcoin dominance with stables, 61.64% of the market, including stables, is Bitcoin right now. Looking at this from the side of without stables, 67.24. So we are still seeing a lot of dominance in Bitcoin, and a lot of money that is leaving Bitcoin dominance going over into stable coins. So let's go check our fear and greed index for today. Let's go there and get that fear and greed. We are sitting right now in fear. We're at 44, still sitting in fear. We've been there for quite a while. So that is what we have on the metrics today from Into the Cryptoverse. Link down below. Go check it out. We talk about this all the time in our community. Looking at the daily here, guys, we are seeing some green. Looking at the hourly, we have a lot of green. And let's go down here and take a look at what's going on. Bitcoin was in slightly up. It was barely above zero this morning for the daily, and down on the hourly, turning that all around here just in the past 40 minutes. So we are up now 3.3% on the daily, sitting at $85,631, busting right through that $85,000 range like it was nothing. Ethereum up 1.2%, still sitting below that $2,000 mark at 1876. XRP about flat, neutral, but it is absolutely neutral now at $2.11. BNB is down. Any big moves today? 3.4, yeah, maybe. It looks like not a lot of big moves, guys. A lot of this stuff is just now recovering from the sell-off. Most of our alts were red this morning. Bitcoin is about the only one that had a slight color of green to it, and now we've turned that around. But I do think that we need to be cautiously optimistic right now. Yeah, we did get a pump, but I don't think that it's going to last too long, especially as we head in. And I tell you what, let's just go take a look at the VIX here. The VIX is green today at 22.39 points right now, while the S&P, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 all in the red today. So I don't know that we're seeing enough right now on the TradFi markets with the volatility index to tell me that the Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside. The Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside. There you go. Let's go jump over to the economic calendar. We did get some bullish eco data this morning, guys. The ADP employment change was at 77 before. They revised it up to 84,000. And then our consensus, and I told you guys, it was like, look at this crazy spread we have here. It can be as high as 105 or as low as 60,000. Actually came in breaking all of those at 155,000. Now, ADP is private jobs, guys. So this is the private business sector adding 155,000 workers to their payrolls in March 2025. But it makes me wonder how many of these were pickups in the private sector from federal job losses. And they're like, hey, let's go grab these professionals, bring them onto our payroll, and now we can start getting rid of people who aren't as qualified to do some of these jobs. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, 155,000 workers right now. So let's talk about this for a second. The live updates, Trump finalizing tariff plans as the U.S. trade partners brace for impact. And this is a live article here. We're going to refresh it for a second. Drink some coffee. Delicious. Love my coffee, man. Tariffs, Trump tariffs, live updates, final plans in flux as trade partners brace for the impact. Just so the key stuff out of this, guys, that you need to know. Donald Trump is set to unveil new tariffs. New tariffs. Everyone talks about these tariffs being cooked in already, but we don't know what these new tariffs are going to be when he unveils them. So there is a definite situation here that was going to cause some volatility in the marketplace, guys. Be aware of that. Trump will detail sweeping new levies on imported goods into the United States at the Rose Garden at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. So put that on your calendar. You guys need to know about that. Fed jobs cut only take effect Monday the 7th, I believe, too. Okay, there you go. DDT, dropping that knowledge from England over there across the pond. Read more CNBC tariffs. We don't need to do that. We're going to go down here. Trump says tariffs are intended to be reciprocal, meaning they will be imposed on imports from countries that erect trade barriers on U.S. goods that the White House considers unfair. Uncertainty over the tariffs and worries about their impact on the economy have roiled the stock markets for weeks. CNBC reporters are covering this tariff live all day, and I will be watching it all day, trust me. He's hyping his reciprocal tariffs in a Truth Social post, declaring the day of their unveiling as Liberation Day in America. Will we be liberated, or will our profits be liberated? That is the question that we need to know. So investors hope April 2nd can bring some tariff clarity and relief. That may not happen. I want to see what they're saying in here, because I actually have some other things, and this is the answer to your question. Average crypto Joe, pay attention here. This is the answer to your question right here. Wall Street is hoping April 2nd will provide clarity on the U.S. tariff front and reprieve from the recent market volatility. However, many remain skeptical that any real clarity is coming anytime soon. Stocks have been in turmoil this year as investors struggle to price in full breadth and depth of the President Trump policies that are shifting the lines of global trade. The S&P was last more than 8% off from its all-time high, a clear enough blueprint from Trump when he takes the Rose Garden on Wednesday afternoon to announce his plan for those reciprocal tariffs could give investors some much-needed certainty. However, if there's not a lot of clarity, or if he offers up new things, because we know he likes to talk. Holy crap, does he like to talk? He could bring in some things that nobody was even talking about. And so the worst case scenario, investors will need some key questions answered around trade policy, in addition to some reassurance that the economic picture, we're going to go into that in a second, is not as bad as feared for the market to truly rebound here. Brett Ryan, senior U.S. economist at the Deutsche Bank Securities, worries that a maximalist approach to tariff policies from the Trump administration, meaning a tariff on all 15 countries in the U.S., has a persistent trade deficit would bring the average tariff rate to over 16% from 10.5, where he said it's currently projected to go. In 2024, the tariff money collected as a share of total imports equaled about 2.5%, according to Tax Foundation. For investors, this would further ding the outlook for economic growth. And let's go over here and talk about this stuff, guys, because even if we get the tariffs, Okay. Tariff clarity. And we get, hey, we're not, this isn't going to be that bad. We might bring this down. There's still some other factors. And I've talked about this numerous times. I responded yesterday to a post on X to Investing Brews. And I also brought this up to in our Discord to several people that were talking about it. And it has to do with this data here. There is a drill. Just picture a drill bit, a diamond drill bit, just hammering down sell pressure, sell pressure, sell pressure on the retail investors, okay? And institutional. And we're getting hit with this massive drill bit pressure pushing down on us. The tariffs are one facet of that diamond drill bit, guys. We still have weakening labor market fears. We still have inflation fears. We still have quantitative tightening. All of these factors existed long before tariffs. Everyone can say tariffs, 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 but these are the factors that were bringing the market down. Tariffs just grease the rails. So even if we have clarity on tariffs, it does not erase the economic conditions that still exist. We need to see a multifaceted front to address the multifaceted drill bit in order for us to get some clarity for the markets to just absolutely rip off and take off. Is it possible? Absolutely. But it's going to take a lot of work. And I don't think that it's going to be done and solved with the I just don't think it's going to be solved with the simple removal of tariff or the addition of tariff clarity. So, as of right now, guys, breaking job postings in Indeed dropped 10% year over year last week to the lowest in 4 years. Over the last 3 years, job postings have declined 33%. As a result, available vacancies are just 8% above pre-pandemic levels. Additionally, new job postings have dropped 40% since February 2022 to near the lowest since December 2020. Data provided by Indeed has been a leading indicator for the Bureau of Labor Statistics providing job openings data. So even without tariffs, which by the way should bring more jobs to the U.S. eventually, it is, we're still looking at deterioration of the labor market itself. Let's go down here and take a look at something else that I had here. There we go. Right. Nope. Nope. Right there. Bookmarks. Get back in there. Thank you. We also have this. Markets are pricing in a recession, right? Over the last 11 weeks, the 10-year note yield has fallen 65 basis points in a massive reversal. Meanwhile, the 1 and 3 month annualized inflation metrics have risen to 4%. Rates are falling while inflation is rising. Tariffs don't change this. Inflation is not caused by tariffs. We haven't even actually seen an impact of the tariffs yet. So again, the 10-year treasury yield, I've been banging the drum on this thing. We've got the labor market. I've been talking about this. We've got rising inflation. We just saw that yesterday with that manufacturing index. But don't worry, guys. If you need to get money during this time period, don't let anyone tell you that you're worthless. You guys can get $19,800 for your cornea. You can get $6,600 for your skeleton. Your lungs are worth about $272,000. Who needs those anyways? Kidneys. Guys, you only need one kidney, $138,700. There you go, guys. You guys can sell this stuff on the black market. You'll be okay, and we'll make it through all of this despite tariffs or despite what we're seeing down here on jobs and everything else. So there you go. There's some hope for you. Yeah, job posts. Win Piper satire show. Maybe we might do that. We might. Guys, looking here at the heat map before we throw this over to OC. Let me give this a refresh just to get this current price action in here. Because we did have that hot zone that you guys just saw. And I think that that might have been what we were going up to clear out, because we did. Look, there was a very hot zone that I was going to be talking about today because I said, watch this zone is what I was going to say. It was about 85,650. Guys, we've cleaned it out now. There is a little bit of a level up here to about 88,000 or 86,750, but we're starting to build another hot zone below us here on the weekly. So once this liquidity gets cleaned out, we could come all the way up, honestly, into like the $90,000 range, clean out all this liquidity and be nothing more than a liquidity sweep of this previous price action over here. So let's kick it over to OC. and let's let him run with what he's seeing on the charts right now. But OC, I'm thinking max level up to $90,000 before we see the turnaround here. What are your thoughts on that when you're looking at the charts? And what's your bottom level? Like what should we be watching if it gets up there and it gets the Donald Trump beat down from the tariff scare and we hit that 90,000, clean out liquidity? The bulls go, all right, we're done. We took enough of your money, and then just let it fall. What's that free fall zone? Where should we be watching on the charts, OC? And you're muted.
And I was muted, of course. 70K. 70K, I think this is going to be the level to watch, and that is because that is what I find most pain. Let me go back into something like the 4 hours a week. I can zoom out a little bit. This is not my usual chart. I'm going to go into my usual chart. But first, let's see where the liquidity starts on these areas. Is something around 72. So I'm pushing somewhere around 70, 68. And that is because this part in here, how we break out, retest, breakout, retest, and we basically were at the same zone. That for me creates a big area of breakout based on this range that we were. So this is the area that I'm going to be looking for, somewhere between 72 and 65 for the worst case scenario. But so far, I don't know if this pattern is screaming 2021 cycle, but we saw that coming, isn't it? I mean, it's not there yet. For sure, we need to break with strength, have a retest, and then continue upwards for us to start claiming that we were right? But so far, this just looks like 2021 cycle. Let me go to daily so I can find it very quickly. Also, let me just clean my indicators here, and let's go to 2021 cycle. Look at that. I mean, we broke through, we went very low here. We have the V-shaped recovery, 70% chances of ranging. I think we're making this high in here. And finally, we could be having one last sweep of the lows in here, somewhere around the previous lows, and then ready to break out, retest, and off we go for the next part of the bullish market. When I talk about bullish market, I say it with quotations because we could be having just this dead cat bounce and not hold, and then just plummet from there, which would not be surprising, thinking that we have a much higher range right now, right? And we could be just ranging here for a little bit before taking the next high, which will be also falling into my theory of an extended cycle. So let me just go into the 15 minutes really quickly. And I want to brag about a little bit on what we got right now on the screen. By the way, guys, this is something like the dynamic reactor. It's free. It's made out of SMAs. If you want to see how I configure it, check out the classes on Trading with OC. I give you a couple of indicators and settings to start setting up your charts. Also, remember that we have a 40% discount if you want to try it out, the chart prime indicators, or if not, don't worry.
45.
I'm giving you, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 45, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different oscillators. So I think that is a well-known or a bunch of indicators for you to find your style, find the ones that you like. And let me show you something. Why am I pointing out at this zone? Let's take a look at chapter number 4. And look at what I was saying. It doesn't have volume. Let me just read it to you. Just remember what I just said, right? So breakout retest. We were looking at this retest. What happened right there? Well, we have the retest on both dynamic reactor, look at that, and the SMA combo. And then what happens right here, and this is what I was explaining a little bit today in the morning when you were telling me, well, what do you see? What do you think about the tariff and all of that? Well, if we just look at the charts yesterday at the end of the class, look at that minute, 1 hour, 08 minutes, we were using the Fibonacci trend and also the liquidity hunter. So what does the Fibonacci trend tells us? Well, that we are in a very, very strong area of resistance here, and most likely we are going to be reversing. That's why the Fibonacci was drawn to the down part. Also, I want you guys to notice that there is a green shaded zone in here, right? At the 786. So look at that. We don't only have the 7x6, we also have the dynamic reactor and also the liquidity hunter right down there. So no, sorry, not dynamic reactor, the SMA combo. So if we take a look at what happened here, look at that, coming back down and then going back up. Why up? Because right there, right before we turn on those areas, we had the order block liquidity void. That means that usually we are want to go and take that liquidity. So by using our indicators in here, look at that, just going for the FIB retracement, right? We knew that we could be going downwards to our big support and then upwards to where our order blocks were located at, right there. So basically up there, right there. So what happens? This is the actual drawing. Oh, my bad. This is the actual drawing. We actually went down to our dynamic reactor or SMA combo, and then we are on our way, because we're still on our way to hit my target right up there. Guys, if you want to learn this and much more, visit us at the late class with trading with OC, where I will going to be showing you how you can start from zero to hero and find your own way. Other than that, let me throw it back to you, Piper. In the meanwhile, I'll bring on my other charts. But I think I have talked a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I also think that, getting into some altcoins, because if we're going to get this pump on Bitcoin, this could be a good chance for some good alt trades to the upside. Bitcoin moves 1%, alts move 5%, right? That's typically how we see that stuff happen, guys. Let's go take a look at, though, what I'm seeing over here, because I want to show you guys. We talked a while back. You may remember this, you may not, but I talked about when Bitcoin price action breaks previous high levels, the time schedule between that, how you can then predict what the top will be, and then you can get an average, right? If you guys don't remember that, I'll show you the chart. This is the chart that I was basing this on, and you can see here, looking back here, here's our previous high. The time until we break it, that time period there was about 273 days until we hit the top there, and then that creates our new high. When we break that level, measuring that time period was about 287 days, and then we move a little bit further over here. Take a look, go into a break. That price level for that high there was that point right there. And then when we break that, measuring that off on average, was about 343 days. Okay. So I measured this off, and this is what we talked about. This was all the way back in I want to say this was like in October 2024 that I was telling you guys this, that look, if we take these averages of all of these periods and we run that average for our projection, which comes into 301 days, this 343 plus 287 plus 278 there, or 278, that gives us an average of about 301 from when we broke our previous high. And guys, that line fell right here in quarter one, actually the end of December going into January. And I said, guys, look, this very likely is going to be where we see at least a major pullback. And I'll be darned if it didn't. Also, on top of that, we also had the market highs here. Let me bring those in. Fibs, market tops. There we go. That was falling in there where we were hitting a double top here on my 618, which has historically been top zones also. Looking at this right now, okay, if this is going to do a rebound, and I just want to bring this on, it's not a fractal, as JR tells me all the time. It's a repeating candle pattern, right? If we want to go in here and get in on this and bring this on, this is a pull of the candles from what we saw with our pullback in 2021, where we returned back up to our golden pocket. I can see something like this going on where we're looking at this like $67,000 downside. I'll show you why I think that's the range to watch in a moment. But then it starts to pull back up, and we go in for one last final push, coming into about $114,000 to $120,000 here. Of course, if we did a repeat of what we saw back here in the cycle break of 2017, guys, we actually broke above that for about 75%. So a 75% break above it this cycle, that would give us a range here, 75% upside That would give us a range target to about $200,000. Just so you guys know, be aware. So, when you look at the possibilities of this here happening, right, where we get that pullback to that level and then we break to the upside, looking at a 200,000, 114, 120 to possibly $200,000 upside move if the stars align and those multifacets that I talked about start to get ground down there on that drill that's hitting us on the head, then we could see some pretty good upsides. But why am I watching for that level down here at about about $67,000? Well, let me show you why. Because I do have fixed range volume profiles coming in here. Let me go ahead and remove my top breaks. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And let's talk about this here. Because when we pull on a local and a long-term fixed range volume profile, guys, and this is a lot of the guys have heard this, but I'm going to keep reiterating it until everyone truly understands. We have this local fixed range volume profile giving us a point of control of about $67,000, meaning that a majority of the volume from this last big leg here, pull back and up again, that started back in January 2024, so over a year ago, that point of control is coming in on that dash yellow line there at about $67,000. Again, that is where the fractal would put us, not a fractal, repeating candlestick pattern. JR's breaking me of that. That would put us right there in that range. To top it off, if we go from the market bottom of 2022 and pull that fixed range volume profile, our value area high, which would be a key level for us to hold, is coming in at about $63,000. So when we drop this rectangle on that you see right here, this is the zone that I am watching. It would set us up for, on a higher time frame basis here, a higher high and a higher low, right? And would set us up beautifully on price structure to go to those areas above us that we're looking at. But so you got to ask, who's selling then, right? And that's a really simple one. Let's go over here and talk about this. By the way, before we get into this one here, the other thing, I do want to show you guys. Currently, right now, we're sitting sentiment-wise bullish, over 50% bullish right now, about 33% here, 26% bearish, and then unknowns at 20, the neutrals. But if we look at the 24-hour ratios on the charts, guys, we're about 50-50. 49.87% are short, 50.13% are bullish right now. So the markets have not really set a definitive. The sentiment might be more bullish than bearish, but what they're willing to get into on trade, just sitting at about a 50-50 level there. So be aware of that. Let's go over here. Let's kick it up on the news. Let's bring OC up here. And let's go talk about this article here, guys, because you got to ask, who was selling for this Bitcoin for it to be where it's at right now? And according to Glassnode, they have figured it out. Bitcoin sales at the $109,000 all-time high were significantly below, which was significantly below cycle tops. Bitcoin midterm holders, even those with a cost basis of around $3,600, are still refusing to sell despite major profits and Bitcoin price volatility. In findings published on X on April 1st, on-chain analytics firm Glassnode revealed that $110,000 was not high enough for many hodlers to sell their Bitcoin. Bitcoiners who entered the market between 3 and 5 years ago have retained their holdings despite significant Bitcoin price upside. According to Glassnode, this investor cohort with the cost basis between the 2020 lows of $3,600 and the 2021 highs of about $69,000 that they bought during that period, they are still hodling. Although the share of the wealth held by the investors who bought Bitcoin 3 to 5 years ago has declined by 3 percentage points since November 2024, it remains at historically high elevated levels. This suggests that a majority of the investors who entered between 2020 to 2022 are holding, and that the people that sold their Bitcoin are the ones that bought in the later time period, 2023 late into 2024. That's the people that actually sold their Bitcoin, a majority of it there. So speculators, stay cool. That Bitcoin price is high. So we could see those levels, but like I said, we got to ground down some of those facets of the drill that are hitting us. And that includes, a lot of economic data getting cleared up for us on the economy side, on the metric side, on the data side, the yields. There's a lot of stars that need to align for that to happen, but it's still there. And I think a lot of the most recent buyers are the ones that sold, especially if you look at when we started the ETF. I think a lot of the sell-off pressure was from the retail side on the ETF buys. OC, your thoughts on all of this before we get into altcoins, bro?
Well, the charts are clear, right? I mean, it's showing who's selling, who's holding. I think we need to shake until we get to diamond hands, right? Before we start going upwards, and that's what is the bear market for, right? It's not the actual what is it for, but what it does as a side effect. So the more that we shake loosey hands, let's just call it like that. And don't get me wrong, selling it's all right, getting profits, it's all right, right? Nobody's gonna bash on you for that. But selling at a loss, well, unless that is a stop loss, I think there's no justification for that. That will be just impatience for your profits, and I think that's what we're after on this kind of markets, right? Just taking out those kind of people, so where we can start building up, new foundations. This is also, of course, not taking into consideration institutional money. Institutional money is, I would say, it's just like a child, right? It doesn't know what it's doing. Although it is called smart money, but sometimes they just keep buying, and since they have the power to move the market, right? Well, they do, right? They do. So, however you want to call that, I mean, they just do have a big flex on Bitcoin at this point. So we need to be patient and also follow the trend, right? So at this point, we're bearish, maybe trying to break up bullish once again. We need to be a little bit careful on that one. And as long as we are bullish, I think we could start taking a little bit more risk into buying in. Remember that on Piper Academy, on the Piper Discord, we have the DCA plan in there. And the lower
The
it goes, the
Piper
more that we
plan.
invest. Oh, yes. And man, I think I always talked about this plan, but it's just an amazing plan because it also factor in as part of the strategy, taking profit at taking profit zones. It's not like any other DCA zone or DCA strategy where you just buy, and whenever you feel like, well, you take some profits. No, this actually gets you profits on best areas and also double in on best areas of double in. Go check them out because I think right now it's a great choice if you want to go low risk and high profitability.
I did it on Monday morning. I did a 3 times my DCA amount, guys. So if you guys don't know, it's based on risk level. So some weeks as the risk level drops, the multiplier goes in, and so it's your DCA times 2, DCA times 3, whatever. So yeah, it was a 3x DCA this week. So I did my dollar cost base. And multiplied it by 3 for my buy on Monday. So yeah, it doesn't. I am almost at break even on my full DCA, and I've got over a third of a Bitcoin built up since I sold the top. So there you go. There you go, guys. Sold with 5% of the top, have over 1/3 of a Bitcoin again, and still sitting on a lot of cash making APY while I confirm the market. So keep exposure. Take your profits off the table. That's the whole idea of the Piper plan. So if you guys don't know, you need to go over there and check it. If you got a little membership there next to your name, you guys already have access to the Bitcoin dollar cost average. You just need to get your butt in the Discord. Shout out to D Jenny from the blockchain. Army Piper is always a date. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, bro. How you doing there, man? And then also we had Dano Crypto coming in. Dano Crypto, I appreciate you, bro. He said great title. I got that from Alex, though. If you guys are wondering, Trump terrifying markets, terrifying markets. That was Alex O's dad joke this morning. So I even put it in the description. If you go down and look at the description, it says dad jokes by Alex O. So there you go. OC, let's get over there and take a look at what you're seeing there on the altcoins. And let's start breaking some of that down, see if there's any opportunity there for us, man. Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's just wrap it up in Bitcoin, talking about the 2021 cycle. These blue lines are the 2021 cycle, and this is what I believe is going to happen, right? So be careful right here, because if we start losing the 77 or the same area that we were talking about, we could be going much lower. Nonetheless, I believe that we're going to be having at least this dead cat bounce. Other than that, let's take a look at revise all of the altcoins that we've been looking for, right? Or we've been hunting. At this point, let's get started with Ethereum. So far, we already have taken 50% out, right? So we did not hit the 100% target here. We're still on this trade. Remember, your stop should be already at entry. I'm not going to be doing that because then it's hard to manipulate this box. But other than that, this is where we start jumping in. Remember, you have two chances, either jumping half of a position, jumping another half of a position, average down your setup or your entry here, move your stop to entry as soon as you have one full candle, both body and wick in the green, move your stop to entry, and then TP number one at the next resistance, which was right here. So 50% out, stop to entry. We have nothing to lose. Let it run. All right. So on Ethereum so far. So let's go Ethereum, man. What a day with Ethereum. Yeah, man. On Litecoin. Oh, by the way, I want to get to Atom because yesterday I believe I was confusing Litecoin, the Litecoin trade with the Atom trade. Nonetheless, we are already on entry points. I already have executed an entry, if you don't know, and that is just to get a little bit of a better price. This was my entry zone. That is because, let me show it to you. Here we have an area of support here, right? I mean, it's not such a great support, but we've been creating, and we talked about this, right? We had a bullish divergence. We have a peak seeker. We have a green reversal, and also we have two VWAP crossovers, right? There, VWAP confirmations. Other than that, we are still creating a higher low on our oscillator. That speaks well for Ethereum. We just need to break the trend line. What trend line? Well, then you can draw it manually like this. We need to burst through it, right? Let me just draw it. Breakout, retest, your re-entry, and off we go. So if you have not yet entered, so you might have a second chance right there. By the way, guys, keep your stop loss. I will be moving my stop a little bit higher here, just like that, because at this point we are on a danger zone. Let me go straight to Atom here, because we were talking about a short yesterday, right? We were shorting this part. Look at that. We entered right at the TP top. And remember yesterday at the time of the show, we were having Bitcoin pumping. So I told you guys, if Bitcoin pumps, most likely Atom will do too. Instead, it actually reversed. So that's why yesterday we took 50% out. And then also we move our stop to entry. At this point, we are on profits. So what are we going to be doing? Just holding it at this point for breakout, retest, and off we go. Remember, our next target, it is right there. So at this point, we are 50% out. Stop loss to entry. We are in profits. Your choice if you want to take your profits and run away, or if you want to hold it for a little bit more. I'm gonna be holding it because I already have other entries that are already profitable, so I can take the risk. Another one that is playing out, but was scary, it is the OM trade. OM, we're looking at this box of entry. Why? Because right there we were in the middle between two liquidation zones, and also look at that, a huge loud order block, right? So I think this is acting as a big support until this migrates, because remember, order blocks do tend to migrate and distribute over time. So do not get surprised if this over time disappears. It's most likely going to do that. But so far, we are on profits. Let me just clean my chart. There we go. We are on profits. It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest. Almost stop us out. And at this point, we're on profits. When are we going to be moving our stop to entry? I'm going to be saying this candle right here as we close it up, and then let it ride. And that's what I got for now, Piper. I don't want to take the whole time because I think we can take a look at a couple of other things that were suggested in the chat.
I love it. Let's do that. I had to go set some stuff up. We got a lot of rib chat going on here. Holy cannoli. Yeah, we had BC Port Corp drop a couple of memberships there for you guys to get access to that Bitcoin dollar cost average Piper plan. And so I threw 5 more in there with him. Appreciate you, BC Port Corp. And welcome to all the new members. Make sure you get in our Discord so you guys can get all of that data for the Piper plan. So shout out to the new members, Joe Bell, Andor, something crypto. I'm not sure what that is. Blocky crypto, I think it is. And then Atlas Prime and Quarter Crawler all coming in as new members there. Then BC Port Corp gifting out a couple of there. He got some new members too. It looks like Trog King and who else was it? He did another one, I thought. I don't know. Somebody else got it too. But welcome to the Piper Academy. Welcome to the alumni, guys. Let's go in and take a look at what I'm watching here on the charts, guys. I do want to show you here on the TradFi side. Let's jump over there to TradFi. Let's go to TradFi. Guys, right now we are seeing the U.S. market. Dow Jones is flat right now. S&P and the NASDAQ have both pushed up into just slightly in the red. Russell 2K has flipped into green, but the VIX is still green here also, meaning that volatility still exists. But I want to show you guys gold not getting much of a pullback, guys. $3,161. I would like to see gold do a massive flush out. That would tell me that the sentiment of the global economy is starting to get a little more bullish here and starting to go, okay, things might be all right, giving us indication of the bottoming. But there is a lot there going on with gold right now. So keep that in mind. Let's go over and take a look at some alts. What I'm watching over here. Let's go check out. Did you do Solana, OC?
No, not just yet.
All right, let's go to Solana.
You can do it if you want to.
Let's go do it. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's go look at Solana here, guys. Solana's still stuck underneath its quantum reactor and dynamic reactor. You can see here last night on this little pump up that we got here. This would be Tuesday, actually yesterday morning. We did get a pump up right to the dynamic reactor, sending us down for another one, guys. We are in this like ranging cluster here, and it is horrible. Let me go isolate, and I want to pull on a fixed range volume profile for just this area right here, just to see what we got, because I think there's a lot of volume sitting down in that zone. So fixed range volume profile. Let's pull it from here. It's going to include that big spike up that we had there, rejecting off of that 300-day simple moving average. Yeah, point of control. I knew it. This is our biggest volume node is where we're sitting at right now, guys. If we lose this, I do think we're heading down to 106. But we do have a reversal that printed. Let's check out the oscillator. Money flow is heading down now. Yeah. Ooh, money flow is heading down. Volume is getting low. I think that we end up rejecting one more time here at about 132 before we head down into the golden pocket here. That would be the bottom side, 106, which is on my support box. That's what I would be watching there. For Solana, of course, it doesn't have to get up here before it does that. We can just get some more bad data and it breaks this range. But you guys can see on a scalp level, you guys should definitely be watching 123 because you've got moves here on average that are hitting about 3%. So quick scalps there at that level. That is a moneymaker, in my opinion, right now on Solana because of, we've got how long here? How long was this period of time here? You had a total there of 3 days and 12 hours that you could have just been playing that value area low line right there at 123.21. So, OC, let's go kick it back over to you, see what else you got. We got about 13 minutes, then we're going to head over to Dano Crypto, go pay him a visit and drop in on him. So,
Absolutely. So let's take a look and keep an eye on EOS. EOS is just been ripping, right? We don't have any re-entries in here. We were looking for this trend line for a possible re-entry as we go back into here, but it seems like we are not having it on the 4 hours at least. If you want to kind of like take the risk, which I would not be advising at these areas to get that absorption zone, I will be going to the either 15 minutes or the 5 minutes to start looking for the structure in there. But so far, this is not looking good for us at these highs. I mean, most likely we're going to have now a retracement that we were expecting, and then maybe a continuation up, creating a symmetrical triangle. Again, this is speculation. This is not a proven because we are not there yet. But I believe, based on previous reactions, this is what is going to happen, right? Other than that, let me take a look at Link in ADA. Let's do ADA first. ADA, we are still waiting for an entry zone all the way down here. Maybe we're gonna get it. Still looking a little weak under my eyes, and that is, yes, we have a breakout retest, but we haven't had the off we go when we're still below the dynamic reactor. I think we could have one sweep of the lows, maybe take on these areas right down here, and finally get our entry. So far, still standing by with ADA at those zones, and that is at 57.43. Let's just finish up with, let's see, we had another request. It was all the way back down here. Let me see if I still had it. IP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All right, on IP not looking good. We're still falling in this case. We have broken the triangle right here, or even right there. Let me show you. For the bottom part right there, breakout retest, off we go. How far can we go? Very, very, very far. I mean, we are right now at almost at the last stand of IP. Be careful with this coin. And then if we are not able to sustain this area, well, then basically almost zero, it's the target. We want to see a further breakout, retest your entry point, and off you go. Low caps like this one might be very, very profitable, but only when you have, the confirmation or change of character on the site right there. Other than that, I will not be messing with that. I think that's everything that I got so far, Piper. Let me throw it back to you, and also let me just keep an eye on the chat. So I might be bringing up a couple of other things that it was requested. And by the way, Alexander G, I love it. Hashtag FIT. Love it.
Yeah, we were just talking about the retail being the big sellers, in my opinion, guys, on Bitcoin. If you take a look here, this is the updated April 2nd inflows and outflows. The inflows for all of the ETFs. In the past 7 days, 1,487 Bitcoin have been sold there. 1 day inflows, negative 1,705 on the sell side. Look at Ethereum, guys. Ethereum selling off massively, 2,597 Ethereum there. I mean, dollar value wise, obviously not as much as Bitcoin, but still a lot being sold off. So yeah, it looks like the ETFs are the big selling factor here still on the ETF side. So that's a lot of the sell pressure I think that we're seeing. Was there anything else that I had in here? I don't think I did. I think I was good there. No, I think that's about all we got, OC. Let's go ahead and hop over here for a second, chat it out. Dano Crypto, I'm sure you're getting your stuff ready, but there was somebody in the chat here that said there was a felony in the chat. It was lost line of sight on crypto, loss on crypto. What was it, man? I don't know what the felony was. Let me know. Oh, good Lord. I love this channel. You guys rock, man. OC, what else you got for the people here? I could take a look at another chart here, some stuff that I'm watching, but I think Solana, EOS. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. EOS. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Let's talk about EOS for a second here. Guys, be very careful with EOS on a pump like that. EOS is a dead blockchain. If you guys don't know, they pretty much have no developers. There's nothing being built on it anymore. I'm pretty sure it is nothing more than people going, look how far down this thing is. I just talked with Buck the other day about EOS, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up the chart and I'll show you this. And then I'm going to show you how far down we are from its previous high last cycle. And this is one of the problems that I bring up a lot with people when I talk about, look, you can buy these projects if you want. But at the end of the day, just because it's so far down doesn't necessarily mean that it's worth buying. You could be buying in on a dollar cost average right now. And if we are not going to head back in to a market cycle top, then you guys are literally throwing money at something that could never, ever bring you a return. And so I want to go over here and look at the high time frame on EOS and talk about it. It is a blast from the past, man. But look at this. If you were one of these people that bought back here in 2018 at $15, or one of these people that bought back here in 2021 at $14, guys, look at the price action for this cycle. It's a dead blockchain. So despite getting that little run up there, if you're FOMOing in on this bad boy, this thing could just be setting another wave, just like it did here. I mean, if I bring this in, you'll see these are just lows and lows. Okay, I guess this one didn't go as low, but be very careful. There's no utility purpose for EOS to pump other than people going, let's make this thing pump. It's got low market volume and low market cap now, and we can get this thing to move down a whopping, let's go to the first peak here. There we go. If you're trading it, sure, go for it. But as of right now, this thing is down 95% from its all-time high. Brutal, guys, brutal, very brutal. So I just wanted to bring that up and talk about that for a second. Good to trade, sure. Not good to invest in. So OC, what do you got for us? We got time for like one more altcoin before we head out to Dano Crypto Show. What do you got for us, man?
Let's take a look at Dogecoin or Dogecoin. I saw somebody comment about it on the chat. So far it's been underwater for a long time. I mean, we are flattening it out. This is a good signal. We're still not there yet for an entry. I want to see a breakout. All right. So let me just show you right here a trend line. We are putting in a higher low. That is important. I'm going to be grabbing, I think, the wicking here and also aiming that line. So try to this other week. We are above the zero line, which is important. And also we are having a red money flow. So we don't have influx of money flow. It's not as bad as before, right? But so far we are still having that uprising lesser of a money flow bearishness. All right, let me just do something really quickly here. Let me turn on money mode. Let's click OK, and let me show you what are we seeing. You see how we're rising on that money flow. That is important, but that's not going to be as important as breaking above and staying above. All right, so I want to see a breakout, maybe taking these highs either for the first or second time, and then putting in a higher low to create another trend line like that. This is going to be our entry. This is going to be our confirmation entry. So you might have two chances to jump back in on Dogecoin or Dogecoin. So far, I'm not going to be trying to short it because, I mean, it's been shorting for a long time. I think we're going to be having that pump. Nothing really like life-changing. Just so you see or you understand that this is not going to be making you a millionaire, but you might be able to profit out of it. So what I'm going to be doing is adding an alert right where dynamic directory is at, and whenever the price action is breaking through, that's what I want to start thinking into reaching the next alert, back down my entry, and up we go. So that's what I got, Piper.
Awesome. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that joined us today on the Piper Academy Morning Market Report. If you haven't done so yet, smash that like button. It helps us out immensely. There's no KYC on it, and it's free 99. That's how much it costs, $0. It is absolutely free to do so. So help us out here, guys. We're trying to grow the channel so we can get this info out to more people. If you are new members, make sure you join our Discord and OC. As always, man, pleasure to have you here as the co-host for this show and the host of your show, Trade Live with OC. So if you guys haven't checked that out, right here on Piper Academy, we got 4 live shows daily. OC is going to be live this evening for that show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At later on that night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Markets After Dark with LBC, and then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be kicking it all off again with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning for the Morning Market Report. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to be looking at what's I gotta look here. Thursday, we're going to be looking at balance of trade reports tomorrow. ISM services PMI, initial jobless claims expected to ISM services PMI is expected to be neutral, but tomorrow jobless claims are expected to be going up. So the number of people filing for unemployment this week looking at being higher. So Piper 4 p.m. stream. There is no 4 p.m. stream, man. We don't have one. I'm sorry. But if you want to come over to Piper Academy username and be a streamer at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will figure out a show for you to do. Either that or Buck. Let's put Buck on there. Oh, Lord, watch out. All right, guys, we're heading out of here. We're going to go hit Dano Crypto Show up. When you get over there, drop your graduation caps. It's right there in your emojis. Just hit your emoji, drop the graduation cap. If you can't find it, just go down there and you type grad, and you'll see the cap, and it looks like this. I just dropped it in the chat. There you go. Guys, we will catch you tomorrow morning. Until next time, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss, some type of risk management, something. Please manage your risk. Keep your profits. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels flow low.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you will part of that numb, not a sore spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off. To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.